Welcome to Time to Win podcast. It's not just a podcast. It's the official personal growth locker room of life, where champions just like you gather to cultivate their courage, create a life-changing game plan of success, and celebrate their wins. I'm RJ Jackson, your personal growth coach and host, and I'm committed to seeing you win. As a professional speaker and growth coach for over 3 decades, I've worked with and inspired thousands to grow their greatness and transform their setbacks into a comeback. And now it's your turn. It's time to win. So if you're ready, grab something to take notes with. We're about to dive in. Let's go fight win. Hello, champion, and welcome back to the Locker Room of Life here on the Time to Win podcast. All right, listen, I'm not going to delay. Today is a great day, and I am so grateful for this opportunity to be here. So I just say come ready to dive in because we don't have time to waste. We're like in the second half of the game. And we have no time to waste. So I hope you have your pen and paper ready. I hope that you're ready to go from being weary to winning. Because listen, it's your winning season. So let's go ahead and get the play of the day. And today I want to talk to you during this season of Thanksgiving. I want to talk to you about being grateful. How to go from being weary to winning. And being weary means you're overwhelmed, you're anxious, you're sad. How do we change that? How do we shift it? How do we change the narrative and go from being weary to winning? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's just go ahead and dive in deep. If this is your first time being here, I want to say welcome. We're honored that you're here. I am your coach, RJ Jackson, aka the Courage Giver, here to take you from being weary to winning and give you the winning play of the day because it's Wednesday. On Wednesday, we win. So let's go ahead and do the thing. You know, that's what I always say, right? Have you ever had something bad happen to you, like really bad, that kind of shifted the narrative for you, changed your world, maybe even turned your world upside down? Well, if you have, you're not alone. Matter of fact, I am right there with you. If you follow me on social media, you've been hanging out with us here in the locker room, you know that I was in a major accident. What you probably don't know is it wasn't the first accident. I've been in several. One where my car literally flipped over on the freeway. But this last one, which also happened on the freeway, I want to talk about it because I don't have any hard luck story. And I want to talk about it because I am really grateful to be alive. So honestly, I am grateful, but during a period of my recovery, I was overwhelmed. I was anxious. I was sad. And there may have been some times I felt a little depression and tapping me on the shoulder. But I didn't stay there because I learned a while ago, and it's the message that I deliver to you consistently. You don't have to live where you're dying, and you don't have to die where you're living. So from that accident, I suffered with a brain injury. During the early stages of my recovery, I realized I had a brain injury. But what I didn't realize is that the brain injury didn't have to have me. But it had me. It had me in a stronghold. I was always apologizing for not getting the word right. I was always covering up my mistakes. I was always holding back for fear of shame and rejection taking over. But then one day, it hit me. And I had to remind myself of the same message I remind everyone else of. You can't help what happens to you, but you can certainly decide how you're going to respond to it. And that's when I decided that I had a brain injury, but the brain injury didn't have me because I had so much more to be grateful for. So let me quickly walk you through the journey of what that looks like for me. So together, we can create a masterpiece of what gratitude can look like for you and how it can help not only shift you from where you are, where you want to be, but you can literally stop your brain from being overwhelmed. You can go from feeling run down, tired, out of touch with your feelings and your emotions, from weary to winning. So journey with me for just a little bit and let me share with you how I felt and what I did about it and how I overcame. And one of the reasons why I want to actually share with you is because sometimes we think people who are doing certain things like they don't have no problems or they got it all together. Well, if you think that about me, let me just bust your bubble right now. I don't have it all together. I am doing the best that I can with what I have. And every day I learn more. I am committed to doing more. Why? Because I want to be all that I was created to be and live a fulfilled life on purpose and leave a legacy. So no, don't get it twisted. I do not. I repeat. I don't have it all together. I want to start by sharing with you one of the Bible verses that people often wonder, like, how is that possible? Like, why would God ask us to do that? And it is the Bible verse that says, in all things, give thanks. And that Bible verse is 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18, for those of you who want to look it up and review it at your convenience. It says, rejoice always, pray continuously, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God. People always go, well, how do I give thanks in everything? Like, am I supposed to be grateful for the bad things that happen? And RJ, are you grateful for your accident happening? Well, let me break it down like this. I did not sit up there and go, oh, I'm so glad that accident happened. Oh, I can't think of nothing better that could have happened to me in life. No, I did not. And you probably won't either. Matter of fact, that's not what God is saying. What God is inviting us to do is to look beyond what has happened and be grateful for what didn't happen. So let's look at the accident. I'm not grateful, like, yes, let's throw a party. The accident happened. No. But what I am saying and what I did say is, thank God we're alive. Thank God we can still hear. I don't know if you remember, but one of my passengers, we were told wasn't going to survive, but she survived. Now, wouldn't you be grateful for that in spite of the fact that the accident happened? Well, my friend, the same thing is true for you and your situation and your circumstance and what you go through. It's a matter of looking for the good in the midst of the bad. And here's what I want you to know. If you look for it, I promise you, it is there. During my accident, I was like bummed. I couldn't walk, could barely talk. But here's something really good that came out of the accident. My dad was able to come and visit and stay with us for about 4 weeks. That was priceless for me. Totally priceless. Now, you may be wondering, well, why didn't he come before? Well, my dad used to come literally every 3 months to watch my children when they were younger. And as they grew older, he still came out to visit quite often. But as he got older, he wasn't as strong and healthy as he used to be, so he wasn't able to travel. However, he told his doctor, whatever you got to do, you make it work because I am going to go see my daughter. And like I said in the beginning, it was a journey for me, and being grateful is a journey. So let's start at the beginning of the journey. Let's talk about what does it mean to be grateful. And then let's talk about why we should be grateful in some of the worst times or in our most challenging times. And then let's conclude with, so how do we do that? How do we go from being upset, overwhelmed, anxious, to being grateful and going from weary to winning? All right, what is gratitude? Well, since this is Thanksgiving season, I want you to know what gratitude is not. Because Thanksgiving is about looking at where you are in life and being grateful. It's about enjoying your friends and family and having an attitude that says, I appreciate what God has done for me, what people have done for me, and what I'm able to do for myself. Gratitude is the quality of being thankful. It's one of the most positive emotions. As I've shared earlier, gratitude focuses on the good in our lives and being thankful for the things we have. And too often, we focus on what we don't have versus focusing on what we do have. And when we focus on what we don't have, we have a tendency to feel and be stuck in life. We have a tendency to be anxious, overwhelmed, and weary because we feel like we're missing something. But when we focus on what we have, we are grateful. We're like, this is it. This is good. This is enough. Sometimes we kind of take for granted what we do have, like a roof over our head, clean water. And you want to know about clean water? Go to a place like Haiti. You'll be grateful for clean water. Sometimes we even take our friends and family for granted. They're going to help us. They're going to be there for us, but we never know. And small things like the ability to listen to this podcast. So many people don't have access to internet and the computer. So when we express our appreciation and when we focus on what's good, it becomes a cycle that cancels out unwanted negative behaviors and thoughts. Gratitude actually turns what we have into enough. I like the way Melody Beattie expresses what gratitude is. She says, gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. Gratitude makes sense of our past. It brings peace for today, and it creates a vision for tomorrow. Okay, so now that we spent a little time looking at what gratitude is, let's talk about reasons to be grateful, especially during the challenging times. So I'm going to give you 3 reasons why it's important to have an attitude of gratitude and to be appreciative even during challenging and tough times. Number 1, we must understand that we can't help what happens to us, but we certainly can help how we respond to it. So number one is when we have misfortunes happen, challenges, bad things, they make us better people. I was just talking to one of my clients today who had gone through this really bad experience with one of her business partners. And in the midst of it, she was not happy, rightfully so. But when I was talking to her recently, she said, I'm glad it happened. I needed that to happen because it happened. I'm a better person. So sometimes we think of bad things as always bad, but there's always something good in the midst of the bad. We just have to be willing to look for it. So one reason to be grateful during hard times and challenges is to remember that misfortunes lead to stronger communities and stronger connections. The first connection with God, the second connection with ourselves, and then the third with others. We become better if we don't let the situation make us bitter. The second reason to consider being grateful during the worst of worst times and challenging times is we learn. We really get to learn what we're truly capable of. We get to discover gifts and talents that we didn't even realize we had because we get to do things differently. And you know what they say, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. But when you're challenged to do it differently, you know, like, oh, wow, I did that. I didn't know I could do that. And we can if we're positioned to do so. What have you learned about yourself lately as a result of a challenging time you've had? And what can you say that shows that you're grateful for the situation because you've learned something new about you? I'd love to know. So, as always, feel free to reach out and let me know. You can share in the comments. You can connect with us from our webpage. But I want to have a conversation with you. I want to know where you are and if where you are is really, truly where you want to be. How grateful are you that you're there instead of being somewhere else that could be worse? And the number 3 reason why it's important to be grateful and have what we call an attitude of gratitude during the worst of times or challenging times is because when we've gone through something that wasn't great and we learn lessons, we become less fearful of what's in front of us. We believe like, wait, I got through that. I can get through this. It builds up our faith. It gives us more courage. And so when we go through, we can say, we made it. We made it through. And that's the key. Those are 3 reasons why it's important to have an attitude of gratitude, even during the most challenging times of life. And life will definitely challenge us. So now that we know why it's important, let's talk about how we do it. Like, how do we do that? How do we express an attitude of gratitude? How do we go from being overwhelmed and weary to winning? I'm so happy you're sticking around. And now I want to invite you to get your pen out and write this down. All right, so hopefully you are really writing this down because it's going to serve as practice to the 3 steps I want to share with you on how to actually go from being weary to winning and how to have an attitude of gratitude during rough, tough, challenging, and the worst of worst times ever. And the first one is about writing. So what I want to encourage you to do is step number 1 to change from weary to winning is to start writing your gratitude down and start with people. Like write down 3 to 5 people you are grateful for in your life and maybe why you're grateful for them. After writing those names down and the reason why you're grateful, you're going to find it very challenging to tell me anything negative about life or even look at anything negative in life. You're going to have the attitude that's going to carry you from being overwhelmed to realizing, wow, it could have been worse. And then from writing it down, consider number 2 is having a gratitude conversation. Like just call someone up and talk to them about why you're grateful, period. Like, wow, I'm so grateful that car didn't hit me. I'm so grateful that I got a raise. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I got a raise. I'm so grateful that my dad's going to be okay. It really got to me with him being sick, but I'm so glad he's going to be okay. Have a conversation. And in that conversation, talk about why you're grateful. Is this making sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? All right. I hope so. And if not, and you would like to have a conversation, let's do that. Let's do that, my friend. But for now, let me tell you number 3. You've written down some names of people you're grateful for and why. You decided to have a conversation. And the third thing I'd like for you to do is pay it forward. When you pay it forward, you're taking the eyes off of yourself and your situation. And when you put your eyes on someone else, you realize that it's not so bad after all, especially when you look at their situation. It was like the man who said, I felt sorry because I didn't have any shoes to wear until I saw the man who didn't have any feet. We certainly can appreciate what we have when we focus on what we have. As we talked about gratitude today, we defined gratitude by sharing a little bit about what gratitude is, why it's important to be grateful, especially during tough times. And we even talked about how to go from being weary, overwhelmed, anxious to being grateful. And when it comes to being grateful, Philippians 4:6-7 tells us, don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, pray about it. Be grateful. And the peace of God will cover you and guard your heart. I love that scripture. I actually have it posted almost everywhere in my house in the words that says, worry about nothing, pray about everything. Worry about nothing, pray about everything. Worry about nothing, he ain't acting right, pray about everything. Worry about nothing, you running short on your money, pray about everything. Worry about nothing, your boss is getting under your skin, pray about everything. Worry about nothing, pray about everything. Be anxious for nothing. Instead, have an attitude of gratitude. All right, my friend, I'm believing in you and I want to know what you are willing to do. So you know the drill. We don't come here just to listen and learn. We come here to take massive action by starting with accepting where we are, checking ourselves. My daddy used to say, check yourself before you wreck yourself. So checking our attitude. Do we have an attitude of gratitude? How can we implement it even more into our day-to-day lives? And then after we admit where we are and say, ooh, I need to do a little bit better, or I'm doing pretty good, but we all can always improve, right? Me first. But after you take a moment to accept and admit where you are, the next step is to make an adjustment. I said this earlier, and I just want to go back and remind you, you can train your brain to practice more gratitude. And it's by taking time to notice what's around you, practicing mindfulness, and also practicing gratitude for the little things in life and sharing your gratitude with others. This is how you train your brain to be more grateful. So after we accept and admit where we are, it's important to say, this is what is important for me to adjust. This is where it's important for me to adjust. Last but not least, being willing to take massive action to get the results you desire and deserve. Listen, my friend, this is not only a season of Thanksgiving, this is your winning season. And it starts with being grateful. So I want to encourage you as we go through this season of Thanksgiving to create a journal. And for the next 7 days, write down 3 things that you are grateful for, that you have an attitude of gratitude. Now, don't just say it, write it down. And next week, I want you to message me and let me know how you're feeling. Because I promise you, if you focus on what you're grateful for, you will be feeling like James Brown says, I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. There's no way you can come and tell me you're feeling weary, overwhelmed, anxious, stressed, or upset. Nothing if you focus on being grateful. All right, I'm looking at the clock, and I tell you, time sure goes by fast when you're in good company. Thanks for being here, my friend, and for hanging out with me. I am ever so grateful for you. Just before we go, I connected with a few of my friends from around the world, and here's why they're grateful.
This is John from Hartselle, Alabama, and I am thankful for friends who have a heart full of love, an ear ready to listen, and a hand willing to help me, especially in difficult times.
Hi, my name is Mai from Japan, and I am grateful for my family's love. I'll be strong for it.
Hi, my name is Bisa from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am grateful for life, good health, and the gift of innovation.
Hi, my name is Martha Felix, and I'm grateful for my family, my health, and my grandchildren.
Hi, my name is Sharon from Pearland, Texas, and I am grateful for my health.
My name is Andrew Lee Holmes. I'm from Rialto, California, and I am grateful for my friends and family.
Hello, my name is Hiromi Okuyama. I'm from near Toronto, Canada, and I'm grateful for amazing women like RJ because RJ always uplifts and encourages people, and she just makes everyone feel so loved.
Hi, my name is Rachel Flores. I am from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I am grateful for my 2 beautiful daughters.
Gratitude, it's the spark that lights the fire of joy in your soul. And now, let me share with you one of the things I am grateful for. I'm grateful for you, for the time that you've taken today to grace me with your awesomeness and be a part of this journey. I'm nothing without you. You are the best part of the Time to Win podcast. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Thank you for listening to Time to Win. I recognize that you appreciate the value provided in today's episode, and for your gratitude, I'm giving you a Time to Win VIP listener badge. So head on over to timetowinpodcast.com. That's timetowinpodcast.com and claim your badge and gain immediate VIP access to more of our next level resources and opportunities, including details on the huddle, a table for 10, the Cure Circle, and the Cure Retreat. Because you've enjoyed today's session, you can also express your gratitude by rating, reviewing, and returning next week with a friend. Oh, by the way, be sure to screenshot today's episode and share it in your Instagram and Facebook story or on your favorite social media platform. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week in the Lockerroom of Life, here on Time to Win. And remember, the best time to win is now.
Shine bright like a diamond.